Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So that's my friends, Yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today is the Granny Go Round blanket. Now before you click off and say, yeah, I know what you're talking about, today's video is going to be in two ways. So we're going to do the granny square in traditional, just like it's written here, and then I'm also going to do a granny square with a flip. And the reason for it is that when we start off with crocheting, and sometimes you see the center of your granny squares, they start to twist a little bit. I was going to say it's not you, but it is you. It is the tension of the hook, and it causes the interior to start twisting and just be off the skew. So what I'm going to show for you is in the second part of this video, and you'll see that in the video description with the video chapters of the flip version, where I'm going to show you how to do this. And so when I have two squares here, can you tell which one is which? The green is traditional and the white here is with the flip. And so it looks slightly different from each other. Of course I have to drop it, but it's actually the same stitch work. And I'm gonna show you how to be able to do the flip, and that's coming up in today's video. I'm gonna be using Caron Jumbo yarn today, and the color is called Sea Spray. Let's begin. So here we have a free pattern by Yarnspirations.com. It's brand new and it's using Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and the color that you see is called Icelandic, and you need a total of 3 balls with the 6mm size J crochet hook today. The blanket will end up being 56 inches square. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and once you begin to do this, it's really quite easy. And then the second part of the tutorial, I'll show you how to do it the other way that I was talking about. Today is the beginner level, and we're going to start with the beginner level. So I want to create a slip knot, and this is how I do it. So I use my finger here to be able to take the yarn strand from the yarn ball, and I want to wrap it around my finger twice. So go once and twice. Try again. Point and wrap twice. Once you have that done, just use your other 3 fingers and hold the 2 strands going down like that. I want you to move this strand over this white strand here. Okay, so the first strand over the second, and just hold it onto your finger. Then I want to take this strand here and go up over top of the edge of my finger. So we just pick it up and go right up over top and let it fall off. And this here is your slip knot. Okay, so I'll demonstrate again. So wrap twice, bring it down and pinch into your hand. Take the back one and jump it over the first. Take the new one here, pinch up and bring it over top of your finger. And just grab your crochet hook and slide it up underneath inside the loop. And so when you release it, it'll be on your hook, and just pull the strand that's leading towards the yarn ball and have it there. Don't be so tight that you can't move it. Okay, so you should be able to easily get your hook out, but don't have it too loose either. This hand here is going to be the yarn feeding hand. And so many people hold things differently. I do the knife method for crochet because that's the way my mom showed me when I was a kid. And we want to take your hand, lay it flat. I want to concentrate on the 3 fingers right here. I want to focus on the gap of my finger right here and also here. I want you to pick up the yarn and put it over top of the 3 fingers. And I want you to pick up your pinky and move the yarn underneath. And then you can put your pinky down. Okay, let's try again. So put your hand down, move the strand over top of the 3 fingers. You can put your pinky down. I want you now just to move it right down to the crease of your pinky. And I want you to pick the yarn up off the table and rotate your hand 90 degrees. So it's straight up. So when you look at it from this point of view, it's going down between there and here. I want you to use this middle finger and your thumb, and I want you just to pick this up to get it out of the way, and I want you to pinch. This pinching is going to be the fingers that will hold the crochet project. I want you to do that again. This time I want you to pinch the bottom of the slip knot that is on the hook. So pinch. So it's going up over top of the 3 fingers and here. I naturally have my finger open like this, so I'm going to explain why. So when you pinch here, this finger here, if I let it go down, it's loose. If I move the finger up, it gets tight. Think about a violin string. If it's too loose, it doesn't play. And if it needs to be tightened to be able to use it, then you move your finger up. You'll naturally in time be able to move your finger up and down, just like that as you're crocheting. Also, the other side of my finger, I want you to lay it flat again. And I want you to use your tension. If you're wearing rings, that may be harder, but if you push your finger together, you should be able to pull the hook and you don't get a lot of yarn. If you open it, the yarn moves. Okay, so try it. So close your pinky, down, tension. Open your pinky, move. So if I need more yarn, I have to open my pinky and let the yarn flow. And if it's too loose, then I will use my finger and pull up and it will tighten up. So the tension of your stitching is done through this area and this area of your yarn feeding hand. Okay, let's reset and let's begin to try a chain next. We're going to try a chain. So let's put our hand down, the yarn in, noticing the distance from my hook. And I want you to close your pinky and move your hand up to a 90-degree angle. I want you to use your middle finger and your thumb to pinch the knot underneath of the needle, or of the hook, sorry. In crochet, you'll notice that patterns refer to yarn over, YOH. And so what you need to do with this hook is that you don't just grab it like this. You scoop underneath and make the yarn go over top of the hook. In order to get this hook through here though, you have to make sure that it's at the right orientation. If you pull like this, it snags. You pull up like this, it snags, pull there. The only way that you can get a crochet hook out of a stitch is if the hook is completely upside down and it forms a teardrop shape and makes room for the hook to come out. So this is a teardrop shape, and it can only be managed when the hook is upside down. So let's try. We're going to yarn over, so you scoop it and rotate your hook, and you keep rotating until the hook is upside down, and then you're going to pull through. Okay, so and pull through. Now, do you see the difference of the circumference of your crochet hook? You need to move it to the thickest part of your shaft in order for the stitch work to have the right look and the right tension. So each one of these crochet hooks are different in size when it comes to the shaft differences. So this is measuring the stitch. So to do another one, you just let it go and grab the new slip knot or the new chain underneath and just hold it and yarn over and just pull the yarn into the chain. And you push the hook forward and get the distance of the thickness of your hook. Let go, repinch, so scoop up and turn over and pull through. And push forward, let go. See, it doesn't go anywhere when I let it go. So back and push through. So when you're looking at the other side here, if I do it, you can see that it's slowly pulling the yarn over top of my hand. Okay, so this is what is called as a chain. So if you're new to crochet, just keep practicing, and the chain work can get really quite quick. But don't focus on the speed. There are a lot of hosts that focus on speed. Don't focus on speed. Focus on the journey and the accuracy to get the stitch work to look consistent. So each one of these chains should look the same size, and it's based on moving your hook down the shaft. This is the basics of crochet. So what I'm going to do now is that we're going to go right to the project now, and we're going to start our project because I'll show you the double crochet as we're working through the project. The only two stitches you need to know are the chain, which you just did, and the double crochet. So if you're ready and you want to stop practicing, pull this out and let's begin again. Let's start with a slip knot in just a moment. Let's create a slip knot. We're going to take this and point, and you're going to go over top of your finger twice. Pinch. Take the back one and jump it over the first. Take the new back one and jump it right over top of the end of your finger. And slide in your crochet hook. And then just pull it and tighten it up onto the hook. You should be able to get this out really quite easily. We're going to start, and we're going to position the yarn into our hands. Okay, so if you need to lay down your hand, you can just drag it over top. Okay, close your pinky and shift 90 degrees up, and use your middle finger and your thumb to pinch the slip knot. We're now going to chain only 5. This one here, whenever we start a project, never counts as one. So we yarn over, so push the hook back, collect the yarn, and pull through. This is number 1, and push the shaft forward. Let go, repinch, and more seasoned crocheters don't need to let go and repinch every one, but do it if you're a beginner. So yarn over and pull through. This is considered number 2. Push down. Yarn over, pull through. This and shift it down the shaft. This is number 3. Yarn over, pull through, shift down. This is 4. And yarn over, pull through, push down. This is 5 chains. To form the center of the granny square, we're going to take the very first chain, which is right here, and we're going to insert the needle, or the hook, sorry, into that chain. So just going right in, you will see 2 strands on top. 1 is on the underneath. And then you're going to yarn over and pull it through that chain and this loop. So pull through and pull through this loop. And here is going to be the center point of your granny square. See this strand here? We're not going to cut it yet. We want to place it so it gets trapped underneath the first revolution of your granny square so that you don't need to sew it in later. And now we're going to be ready to move on with the traditional version in just a moment. To move on, you are going to chain a total of 6. This will count in the rules of crochet as 1 double crochet and 3 chains. So when I usually teach, I say we're going to chain 6. So I say 1, pinch, 2, and 3. That's your double crochet, and then I keep on going. So I have 4, 5, and 6. So it just looks like a long chain, which it technically is, but you'll see it when we come back around how we convert this over to a double crochet and a chain 3 space. In the center ring, right here, we're going to place in 3 double crochet. I'm going to take my strand and just wrap it around so that it's around the outside of that ring. And to double crochet, you're going to do the following. Just pinch the top of this because it's a long chain, and we're going to just pinch it the first time. So just pinch, and you're going to wrap the yarn. Okay, so we come up underneath and we scoop, and that's a yarn over, and we're going to go into the center of the ring. Push through, yarn over, pull through just the ring, and make sure you keep moving it down the shaft, and then you have 3 loops on here. You're going to yarn over, so scoop it, pull through just the first 2 loops, so make sure that hook turns upside down, push forward, and then yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops that are on the hook. That is a double crochet. And we want to do it 2 more times before we do something new. So keep this strand around the outside of the ring. So you're going to yarn over and go into the center of the ring again. Push through the center. Yarn over and pull through the center of the ring. Push down. Yarn over, pull through just 2 loops. Push down, yarn over, pull through 2. Another double crochet has just been made. So we're going to yarn over and going into the center of the ring. Pull through the ring. So you see 3 loops, yarn over, pull through just 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. You've now just completed one side of your granny square. You need to chain 3 to turn the corner. So the corners will always be chain 3. So we just pinch underneath right on the top here, and we yarn over once and pull through. So 1 chain, 2, and 3. Coming into the center of the ring, you're going to do 3 more double crochet. So we do each one by itself. So yarn over first. See how I'm pinching this? Because there's a chain. And you go into the center. Yarn over, pull through the ring. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. So you keep doing that. So yarn over into the ring. I'm going to speed up a little bit and pull through. Pull through 2 and 2. Yarn over and into the ring. Pull through. Pull through 2 and 2. And if you haven't got that done, just put me on pause. And for people moving on, we're going to chain 3 and create another corner. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to create another side of your granny square. So there will be 3 double crochet again. So pinch, because there's a chain here. So you pinch, and you go into the ring, pull through 2 and 2. So that was 1 of 3. So do it again. So yarn over and into the ring, pull through 2 and 2. Do it again. So yarn over and in, pull through 2 and 2. So we officially can see one side, 2 and 3. This here is considered a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So we're going to do our last side. So put me on pause if you're not ready. To turn the next corner, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Just if you are running out of space, this is just around the ring so you can pull the ring to give you more space. And you are going to place in 2 more double crochet there. So pull through 2, and 2. And one more time, in, pull through 2 and 2. This is considered the last side. So this here, the first part of the chain, is the first double crochet, which gives you the number 3, like the rest of them. So you're gonna do what is called this a slip stitch. So coming into the third chain up, okay, so you should see 3 empty chains on top, 1, 2, and 3. And you just go into the chain work itself. So don't go into a space, go into the chain, and you're going to pull through and through. And you've now completed the first revolution. If you went over top of your straggler, you're going to simply just cut it, and that'll always be stuck inside your project. And now we're ready to move on to round number 2. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little bit, and we are going to start the second round. You need to get yourself to the space first. So you need to slip stitch right into the space. And you pull through and through. Now, you are going to chain 6. So it'll be, that'll count as a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So we have 1, 2, 3, there's a double crochet, and 4, 5, and 6 is a chain 3 space. And I want you to come into the center of your corner there. And I want you to place in 3 double crochet there. So yarn over and going in, pull through 2 and 2. So that was 1 of 3. Everything is always in groups of 3. So place in another double crochet, and another. So as I mentioned, the chain 6, this is the last double crochet of the revolution when you get around. Before you can jump to the next corner, you always have to chain 1 first. So chain 1 and then jump to your next corner. The corners now going forward will be 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet right into the corner space. So we're going to put in 3 double crochet into the next corner. Okay, so once your 3 double crochet are in, chain 3 will get you to turn the corner. So 1, 2, 3, and then in the same corner, 3 more double crochet. Your corner is now complete. So what do we need to do before we go to the next corner? We have to chain 1 first. So chain 1, and then your corners will always be the same on this whole thing. So they'll start off with 3 double crochet first. Followed by chain 3, and 3 double crochet into the same. So what do we need to do to jump to the next corner? We have to chain 1 and then start a new corner. So 3 double crochet, and I'm going to speed up a bit. For experienced crocheters, the granny square process is actually pretty quick. But if you're beginning today, don't worry about the speed, just worry about the journey. People are fixated on speed of stuff. It's not relevant with crochet. So corner is now complete. What do we need to do to jump to the next corner, which is partially already done? We have to chain one before we start, and we need to focus on this space here on this side of where this is coming out of. And we're going to place in 2 double crochet only to finish this round. And we slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. If you're not sure, count it back from here. So 1, 2, and 3. So it's the 4th one back, which is the 3rd one up, and you're just going to slip stitch. And now this is complete. So going forward, the only difference now is that the corners will get further away from each other. So we just have to worry about how to deal with all the stitches in between. Let's move on to the next round. To move on to any of the next rounds, you are going to just slip stitch to this big space, and that will put you back into the corner, and that's where you're going to start. And you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's your double crochet and chain 3 space, and double crochet 3 times into the same space. And we'll finish this corner on the way back around. What do we need to do to jump to the next space? Always chain 1 in this case. So chain 1 and you go right into the next space, and there's always going to be 3 double crochets in the space. So you don't have to worry about the tops of any stitches in this pattern. So put in 3 double crochet right in the space that's between the groups of stitches. Chain 1. Okay, so chain 1 will get you to the next space. We happen to be running into the corner next. So in the corners, we already know what it is. It's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet, and that's what we're going to do. So once the 3 double crochet are in, chain 3, which allows you to turn the corner, and in the same space, 3 more double crochet. Okay, so we need to jump to the next space. What do we have to do first? Always chain 1, and you're going to double crochet 3 times into the space. It's not a corner, so these are just 3 double crochets into each space. Chain 1 before you can jump, and then the next one happens to be a corner. So 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Okay, chain 1. So before you can jump to the next space, it's not a corner, so it's just 3 double crochet into the space. Chain 1, and the next one happens to be a corner, so it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Chain 1 to jump. The next one happens to be a space, it's not a corner, so you just 3 double crochet. Okay, chain 1 to jump, and this is your very final corner. So the first double crochet is technically there, so you focus right in the space right where my thumb is moving, and you're going to double crochet only 2 times because the first one's technically already done. And then you're going to slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. If you're not sure, count it back. So 1, 2, 3. So the 4th one coming back from this side is the slip stitch. Go right into the chain work and pull through and through. So the only difference now moving forward is that there's going to be more and more spaces that show up in between each of the corners. So next time there's going to be 2 spaces in a row, before you get to a corner, and then after that it'll be three spaces, and so on, and you keep going until you get as big as you need to go. So I will quickly demonstrate one more round and just to illustrate this process one more time. So any round, you're just going to slip stitch to the corner and chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 double crochets will be into that same corner. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and then you have your spaces. So you just put 3 double crochet in each space. And make sure you chain 1 after each one of the groups so that you can jump to the next space. Okay, chain 1, and then here on the outside, this is a corner, so it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Okay, so you can see now there's going to be 3 spaces next time, so 1, 2, and 3. And so you can blaze your way, so make sure you chain 1 after each group when you're on the sides, and 3 double crochet in each. So I'll see you at the end of the round in just a moment, and then we're going to talk about the other concept of flipping your granny square next. So I'm coming back around to the end, and I'm just going to put in my 2 double crochet, and then I'm going to join it to the third one. So let's talk about what happens if you want to change a color. So let's concentrate on changing the yarn ball. So if you wanted to change color and you wanted to do it at the beginning or beginning of a round, this is what we're going to do. I'm also going to have a second portion of this where what happens when you run out of a ball midway through a row. I'm going to show you that next. So if you're at the end of the row, you've done your slip stitch, you're just going to yarn over and you're going to pull it through. So cut the yarn leading to the ball and you're just going to pull through. This action causes it to knot onto itself, but it's not good enough just to leave it there. You have to use what is called as a tapestry needle, and you're going to place this onto the needle, so the ending of the strand. We have been working in a constant revolution, so I want you to turn the square upside down, and I want you to focus on going backward to where you come. So you don't want to just go between the strands, but you actually want to separate the plies as well. And you only want to concentrate in the coloring that you're working with. Okay, in this blanket it doesn't matter so much, but if there is different colors being in play, you don't want to run the needle through a different color than what you're trying to hide in. So you pull through, and the first time you pull through, you want it to make a taut but not change the shape of the project. And then you're just going to go through a slightly different path. And again, if you capture the plies and come through, it'll get locked onto itself. And then you can just go through like that. So you have to do it a total of 3 times. And if you're not confident, just do another time. And then you can safely cut this down into the project and you'll barely ever see that where you've started and stopped. So let's show you how to add in a new yarn, because then I can show you how to change the color midway through. For demonstration purposes, I am going to use a different color, and I'm putting a slip knot onto my hook. So if you want to start a brand new color, we've always been slip stitching to the corner. So in this case, we don't need to slip stitch ourselves across the top. We just have to place the hook into the space itself with the slip knot already on the hook, and take the yarn strand that is leading to the ball and just wrap it around and pull through. So when it says attach, you've just attached it. Now we're going to chain our 6 like we normally had been. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's your double crochet and your chain 3 space. In the same space, you're going to do the following. See this strand right here? Just place it on top and it will get stuck underneath there. But you're going to want to use a tapestry needle to hide that in. So it's 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let this come out, and then you're just going to use a tapestry needle to hide that in later. So you chain 1 to jump, and then you go to your next space as you always have been. So then the question becomes, how do you change the yarn midway through a round? So if you run out of yarn, or maybe there's a knot in the ball and you want to cut the knot out because the knots will be very visible. So let's just intentionally cut my yarn and just say, oh no, I'm running out of yarn, which is intentional in this case. And then I want to bring back a different color just so I can see how it's going to work. Let me just see what other colors I have here. And let's just play with that concept. So let's just get a new yarn ready, and we're going to chain 1 to get to the next one. So you don't want to leave this strand too short because you're going to have to deal with it. So you're going to start off with your first stitch going in, but you don't want to finish it. So you're just going to wrap and going in, and you pull through the yarn like this. Okay. So now you want to take the new yarn. Don't create a slip knot, just loop it. And you're going to use a tapestry needle to hide that in later. And you were going to place that onto the hook, and you're going to pull through the 2 like you normally would have. So now you're going to ignore the strand, that was the pink one, and focus on the strand leading to the ball with the new color, and then pull through 2. Now technically it would have been the same color, so you wouldn't be seeing the color difference like this. This is just for demonstration purposes of how it goes. So using the 2 strands here, place it on top, and you're going to double crochet twice more. And when you double crochet, you're going right up over top of these strands, but you're going to need a tapestry needle to hide these in later. And so now we've just officially changed our yarn ball over. And so then you chain 1, and then you are going to double crochet 3 times, and etc., and chain 1, and do all the fun stuff. So if you run out of yarn midway through, you don't have to be at the end of a round to make that happen. And then you are just going to use your tapestry needle, and like I showed you before, just place your needle on, and because the coloring will be the same, you just focus on the back of the project, and you just go up and over and in. And just make sure you don't change the shape by pulling it too tight. And you do that a total of 3 times. So any loose ends, you're going to want to deal with that. You're going to want to deal with this one at the beginning as well. And then you can safely cut it down, and therefore it gets lost into the project in that manner. So what I'm going to demonstrate next is show you how to do the flip effect, and everything I just showed you now is you can be done in the other way as well, and I'm just going to get you started on that in just a moment. This is the portion where I'm going to show you the flip effect. I'm not going to go as slow as the beginning portion, and you're going to create your slip knot, and you're going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you need the absolute beginner, just go back to the beginning, and then just slip stitch to the first chain and yarn over, pull through to form the center ring. And let's do round number 1. So round number 1 and all the rest of them start off the same way. We just have to make sure that we are doing it properly. So we want to flip this over every time we're finish a round. So we're going to only chain 3 this time. So 1, 2, 3. And in the center of the ring, I want to place in 2 double crochet, because the chain 3 counts as 1. So it's 1 chain and 3 double crochet. The corners are going to be turned just like the other portion was. So it just chain 3 and then 3 double crochet in. Chain 3 to turn and 3 double crochet in. I'm going right up over top of the straggler so that I can trim that later. Saves you sewing that. And then chain 3, and then 3 double crochet into the ring. So how we finish a round is going to be different than how we did it in the beginning of this tutorial. So the final corner has not yet been attached. So what I want you to do is that we're going to chain 1 first, and then do a half double crochet to the top of the chain 3. And then pull through. So the half double crochet goes in. Instead of pulling through 2 and 2, you pull through all 3 loops. And that would leave you in the very corner. If you went over top of your straggler, you're going to simply just trim that down. And now I want you to flip your granny square. So flip it over and then start again. So to start again, you were going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 2 more double crochet into the corner space. So you're technically crocheting on the back of the granny square. To go to the next space, you have to chain 1, and then your corners are the same as the first half of this tutorial. It's going to be 3 double crochet, followed by a chain 3. And 3 double crochet. So like before, after each group that it's gonna, before you do the jump, it has to be a chain 1. So before you can jump, chain 1, and then you happen to be jumping into another corner. So it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. Okay, so chain 1, and then do another corner. So 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. Okay, so the corner is started already on this side. So we're going to finish this corner by putting in, so make sure you chain 1 before you jump into the corner, and you're going to place in 3 double crochet first. Then you're going to chain 1 and join with a half double crochet to the top of the first chain 3. And pull through and through. It looks weird, but just trust it. You're going to turn and flip now, and now you're going to go back in the opposite direction. And you can see that it leaves a slight line appearance, but this will prevent the middle from spinning. So to start a new round, here we go. Let's chain 3 to begin, and 2 more double crochet into the beginning corner. Chain 1 to jump, and we start working with the spaces. So now there's a space before the next corner, and like on the beginning of this tutorial, there's just more and more spaces that will appear every time you go around because you're making the square bigger. So 3 double crochet, chain 1, and now the corner happens to be next, and so it's 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. Okay, chain 1, and then the 1 is a space that's not a corner, so it's just going to be 3 double crochet. So as you're completing this, when you do the next round, you're going to notice is that there's 2 spaces before a corner, and it's just a matter of those spaces getting more and more. So you will use the same techniques for changing colors if you want to at the end of or beginning of a round. If you run out of yarn midway through a round, you can do the same thing. Just be very patient with yourself to hide in any loose ends that you have with the tapestry needle. So you're just going to work your way around. Okay, so you're just going to keep on going. So you're just looking for the very beginning corner that you started off with, and so you'll finish that corner. So chain 1. So this is the beginning corner that we started with. You can see it looks a little weird than the rest of the corners. So it gives you that indication. So you're going to put in your 3 double crochet first, followed by a chain 1, and then a half double crochet to the beginning top of the chain 3 to finish. So turn your granny square and then begin all over again with the chain 3, 2 more double crochet in there, and go around. And you can see that this will have a different appearance than you had in the original, where it looks slightly different from each other. Can you tell the difference? Okay. And it has a really neat look to it. So this is how you do this granny square, and it's a great idea. And you can also download the pattern on yarnspirations.com at any time. We hope you enjoy, and this is it for today.